Hello and welcome. My name is Andrea Lendy. Welcome to Life After Lupus, where I share just a short chapter every week on Sunday night story time of my book called Life After Lupus, What's Your Autoimmune Name? So many people are being diagnosed with autoimmune issues, and it seems when we get that diagnosis that it's probably going to be a lifelong disease. And I'm here to tell you that I got well from lupus and fibromyalgia and Graves' disease. Not all at the same time, but at different times, being diagnosed with these things. When I was first diagnosed with lupus, I was 30 years old, and I did have the accompanying fibromyalgia with that. And it took 3 years to get well, but I did. Doing the right things for our bodies truly is significant in terms of being able to heal. We think about healing, we get a cut, we get a scrape, our bone may break, and we expect these things to heal. And our bodies are the same. Our bodies inside, our cells are constantly making new cells, regenerating, making new until 3 years later, we almost have a whole new body. According to Deepak Chopra, I know after I had gotten well and done all the things that I'm going to be sharing with you to get well, I remember watching Deepak on a PBS special saying that our bodies are made new every 3 years. Every 3 years, all our cells are new. So what we do today impacts us a year from now and 2 years from now. So it makes us think about that future self. What do I want to be? How healthy do I want to be? How do I want to feel 3 years from now before we indulge in whatever it is that we're indulging? For me, the first, those 3 years, I was a vegetarian and didn't really eat anything besides just vegetables and some rice noodles, other than a powder drink that I mixed with water, which was completely pure and wonderful and all of that. And I bought all the organic vegetables and things like that. But it was a long journey to wellness, and I couldn't really see that far in front of me. I truly couldn't. I could only see the day. I studied, I read everything I could to see if there was something I could do to get better. And when I happened on something, I implemented it. And I continued to do that the whole 3 years until I was well. And as, divine guiding and leading would have it, the Lord led me to the right people at the right time to get me the right thing that I needed in order to be well. So so far we've talked about different doctors that I saw, and I wasn't able to really take advantage of what they had, most of them, because they were trying to treat me with medicine and my body was just allergic to all of that, so I couldn't go down that road. I did meet a naturopathic physician who started that healing process and opened up a whole new world. This was years ago when naturopaths, it wasn't like normal kind of, or mainstream, I guess I should say, to seek one out, but I did. And he started me on my journey, and then I found a regular MD about 90 days later and started working with him, and he had a little apothecary in his office. So that's where we are right now, the MD. I called the new doctor, whom I now had the name for, and made an appointment to see him as soon as I could get on his schedule. He was an MD, but treated both traditionally and naturally, depending on the needs of the patient. I needed the natural path to healing because I was allergic to all of the medications that had been previously prescribed. There were many prescriptions that sat in my cupboard untaken after just 1 or 2 pills were ingested because of this allergic reaction. I experienced that with the first dose, and sometimes it took the second dose to experience the allergic reaction. Sometimes when you take one thing one time, your body hasn't reacted to it yet, but you keep giving it to them, and your body will develop this reaction. So there was a reason for these reactions as well. The perfect journey lay ahead for me. I went to the first appointment with this new doctor, and there were again so many questions and a long questionnaire to fill out. The appointment took at least an hour. He continued to prescribe the liquid meal replacement and a number of other natural supplements, which could be purchased in the small apothecary in his office. So he had found and ordered the most pure kind of supplements, if you will, for my body to be able to start this reparative type process. I would see the doctor almost weekly for months that led to years, and then eventually tapered off over time. Sometimes I had a couple appointments a week when the pain was seemingly intolerable. I just needed the reassurance that I was doing everything I could and that my body would heal. The added supplements he prescribed increased our monthly medical expenses, but I knew that this would be my answer for healing. We spent about $1,000 a month on the liquid meal replacement and the supplements I was taking. My body eventually healed cell by cell over the next 3 years. And this doctor was amazing. He gave some of his time and went over to Africa and served there, literally no compensation. He's written books. He is a phenomenal doctor that really worked with me in every way to help my body heal. And I'm so very thankful that I found him. There's a long journey that lay ahead for me after just that first appointment with him, but I knew that I had found that person who would lead me to where I needed to go for my body to heal. There were lots of scary moments over the next few years, but my body was responding ever so little. And it seems like I'm a prayerful person, a spiritual person, and I pray for healing. And sometimes that healing happens instantly. But in my case, it was one cell at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time, day at a time. 1,000 days. When you think about 3 years of being sick, it's a little over 1,000 days, kind of waking up feeling like I had the flu every day, severe exhaustion, all of it, the aches and pains, the everything that went along with it. But little by little, my body healed. And we'll find out later on that it was really a spiritual healing as well. It was, it was a whole mind body thing that I had to get right. And so it took a while, but thankfully I kept at it. Thankfully, God gave me that really will to get well, instead of just accept the fact that I would be sick for the rest of my life. I was a young lady to think about being sick forever and ever, and that just wasn't something I was going to take on, or I just didn't see the possibility of being sick for the rest of my life. And that made a difference because I kept seeking. The Bible tells us, seek and you shall find. And I just kept seeking. I kept moving forward in that. My belief was in healing. And it's so important what we think. Our thoughts are so important. And I just kept looking for answers. And I just kept doing what was in front of me to do. The next piece, which again, it was a divinely led healing, because every time I needed the next thing, that next thing came. So, thanks for listening. Tune in next Sunday for more Sunday night story time. I think the chapter's a little bit longer next time, but now we're to where the healing really begins. And so would love to have you back for that. And we'll see you next Sunday evening. Thanks.